This is the season of artificial intelligence and crypto. There are two major cryptocurrencies that are crystallizing to become the winners. There is AI16Z and there is the virtual protocol. Now the question is, which one of those two assets will actually outperform? Let's have a look at data most people are not considering. Now I made a video on both cryptos very early on. There's the first video on AI16Z published roughly 2 months ago, and at the time the price was at 28 cents. We then went up all the way above $2. Now we are at $1.29. And here's the first video on Virtual's protocol that was published roughly 3 months ago. At the time we were at 41 cents. Then we went up more than 10x above $4.50. Now we are at $2.91. And so I try to be early on this channel. I'm looking for tokens that have positive momentum, but still enough upside potential to go higher. So if you want to be early next time, feel free to subscribe over here. Now let's look at the data. Let's look at relative valuations. Now here are the number of retail wallets versus whale wallets for AI16Z. And the way we make this distinction is by looking at minimum holding thresholds. So for the left chart, it's a minimum holding of 1,000 tokens, for the middle 10,000, for the right 100,000 tokens. And so since the price is at a bit over $1, that's 1,000, 10,000 and $100,000. Now there's growth across all wallet cohorts. That's good. But what about Virtual's protocol? Yeah, the same kind of charts for Virtuals, which by the way start earlier. We see an initial growth phase during launch and then a second phase starting in September, October of last year. And what I find interesting is that AI16Z tends to be held by more whales than Virtual's protocol. Because for AI16Z, we've got 1,200 whales and 18,000 retail wallets. But for Virtual's protocol, we've only got 900 whales, but 23,000 retail wallets. It's not just the number of holders it's increasing, it's also the trading volume and the number of traders that's going up. So this is the number of buyers and sellers for Virtual's protocol, and this is the US dollars that are being traded every day for AI16Z. And so when there's more and more activity still on chain, I believe that over time more and more of the trading volume is likely going to move to the centralized exchanges as well, because they want to get a part of the pie as well. Where there's a lot of trading activity, there's a lot of potential fees to be generated, and so the centralized exchanges want to hold a lot of the supply for market making. And so I think it's likely that both assets will appreciate over time. They will not 100x anymore because the market cap is already in the billions, but it's probably going to outperform Bitcoin if the bull run in general continues. Now, since Bitcoin hit 100K, it has a pretty hard time climbing. We actually tended to see lower highs and lower lows in the last weeks. And at the same time, there isn't any more money flowing into crypto. This is the stablecoin market cap over the last weeks. And if this continues for too long, then things could potentially turn around again and we could start another bear market. Now what happened over here was the Terra Luna collapse, right? This is when the Anchor protocol went bust, when the UST stablecoin imploded. It started a bear market that lasted for more than a year, during which also FTX collapsed. But then in October of 2023, we turned around. But now it seems like the market has a hard time expanding further. It's truly becoming player versus player again. Now, when there's altcoin season, we can buy pretty much any cryptocurrency and they all double and triple. But I'm not sure how close that is. Have a look at the others dominance. So this shows how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that are not in the top 10. And yes, this tends to rise over time. And the current risk to reward doesn't look too bad. But have a look at the inverse of that, the Bitcoin dominance. When the Bitcoin dominance is very high and it then subsequently crashes, that's when there's altcoin season, right? The altcoins become more important. Bitcoin becomes in turn less important. Now there's been 2 major altcoin seasons in the past. One happened at the end of 2017. The other happened at the beginning of 2021. So it's marked here by those yellow circles. Here is the long-term Bitcoin price with those same yellow circles. So when did altcoin season happen in the past? It happened after we had already a massive bull run in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin made its multiple X returns from the last bear market. And when Bitcoin was very high and when people wondered what's the next Bitcoin, that's then when the altcoins went off. Now the question is the current bull market enough? Last time when we started altcoin season, we went up by almost 1,000%. This time we went up by only 500% roughly. We are a little bit in no man's land. It seems like we're in a similar situation to September of 2018. So that's here, this red circle, right? We are pretty much at the same level in Bitcoin dominance. We are not at those extreme heights where more than 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin. We are still just at 58% dominance. And so really navigating a time like this is relatively hard. It's more important to really have an edge in the market, to know more than the average market participant, to buy the assets that other winners are buying as well. Just have a look at how confused the market currently is. The best category within crypto in the last 7 days was AI frameworks. But the worst performing category was AI memes. So we can't say that everything AI is going up. Returns are getting more and more concentrated in just a few winners. If you make a 10x, then 9 other people have to lose pretty much everything. It's zero sum right now. The market isn't expanding in the last weeks. And so here is how I navigate the situation. I'm tracking other influencers that tend to make very good trades. For example, here, Kyle Chessy. Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token at 14 cents. So that was over here. Subsequently, the price went up by more than 800%. But it's important to also take profit, because once attention moves to the next token and the price goes down, we are now only at 33 cents again. You want to be early. You don't want to buy into a token where attention tends to decline. Or here, another Kyle Chessy purchase, Fartcoin at 5 cents. Again, a very, very nice run, more than 3,000%. But now attention is declining again, right? It's player versus player. The assets aren't growing that quickly anymore. One more Kyle Chessy purchase at 0.3 cents. 13 comments. Now Griffane is at 44 cents. So a 14,000% gain. And so this is what the game is all about. It's about buying things when not a lot of people know about this. It's about buying things when the insiders start to get in, when the top traders start to get in. Now I've talked about Kyle Chessy now several times. Here is his YouTube channel. He's got 142,000 subscribers. And the reason why we know what he's buying is because we track his wallets. We've got 12 of his wallets where we get signals whenever he's buying or selling something. But we're not just tracking Kyle Chessy. We are also tracking Alex Becker. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. When he talks about a token, of course this generates attention, and attention turns into purchases. We've got 12 of Alex Becker's wallets. Or here we've got Crypto Banter. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. And we've got 33 of their wallets. And so how can we be early? We can be early by buying the things when all the top people are getting in. And so of course now it's more important than ever to be part of this inner circle, right? To not just buy something random on a list, because I'm not sure how close altcoin season really is. Now of course not every trade that an influencer makes will make thousands of %, because especially the larger tokens, they need a lot of capital to move the price, but the smaller tokens, they are more high risk but also more high reward. And so I really like this strategy. I like the strategy of trying to find other influencer wallets, because the influencers of course don't post this officially. We have to use on-chain analytics to find them. And so I've made several videos. First of all, how can we find those wallets, but then also how can we track the wallets? How can we get alerts whenever they buy or sell? And then how can we interpret the alerts that we get from the tracking? It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics. It's also about risk management. There's more than 100 videos in total. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, here is how I like to compare two assets. I like to look at their relative valuations. So for example, when we buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, I like to look at Ethereum's price denominated in Bitcoin, right? Does Ethereum outperform Bitcoin? Now we can do the same thing for Virtuous Protocol versus AI16Z. So this is the AI16Z chart relative to the Virtuous Protocol chart. And isn't that interesting? AI16Z is held more by the whales than Virtuous Protocol is, and the price tends to also outperform Virtuous Protocol. Since the 30th of October to today, AI16Z did better than virtuals by 343%. But there's also some kind of a trading range. And it seems like currently we are pretty much balanced. There's risk of a potential underperformance of 40%, and there is the chance to outperform maybe by 50% or so. Isn't that fascinating how those bottoms and those tops align? Those are parallel lines. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but it seems like we do tend to move in those swings in a relatively clean fashion, which would imply that AI16Z might be underperforming for the next few days to then at those lower valuations see again new investors getting in. So medium term, it might look better for Virtuous Protocol than for AI16Z. And we can also see this in the alerts. My favorite influencer trader, Kyle Chessy, he is recently selling AI16Z. He's doing this since the 10th of January. And that was also when the price relative to AI16Z. And he spared himself quite a bit of a crash with that sale. And so yes, long-term AI16Z tends to outperform Virtuous Protocol in the next few days, maybe weeks. It seems like the momentum isn't that positive though. I think it's likely that Virtuous Protocol is going to do better than AI16Z in the short term, but then at some point it might make sense to buy AI16Z again, because again, long term it tends to do better. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.